Let's talk about what this actually looks like. Not in theory, not as a promise, but as a realistic, honest picture of what happens when a firm like yours commits to YouTube month by month, and what you can expect at each stage of the journey. Because I think one of the most unhelpful things in this space is the version of this conversation where somebody tells you you'll see dramatic results really quickly, and then reality just doesn't match that, and you conclude that it isn't working, when actually you just needed more time. So I want to give you the honest version, including the hard parts. Hey, I'm Rob, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through what the first 90 days of a YouTube commitment actually looks like, and then pull back the lens to show you where the real results live. Because 90 days is a beginning, not a verdict. And before we get into the timeline, I want to establish something that shapes everything that follows. YouTube is not a marketing campaign. Most firms are used to investing in initiatives that produce results in days or weeks, really quickly. A paid ad campaign or a targeted outreach effort, or something like an event sponsorship. You spend money, you get some sort of measurable return, and then you decide whether to continue. YouTube just doesn't work like that. YouTube works much more like a financial portfolio. You make consistent investments over time. And in the early months, the returns feel somewhat modest or even invisible sometimes. But the asset is building, it's compounding. And unlike a campaign that usually stops producing the moment you stop paying, a YouTube video published today is still working for you 5 years from now. Research on evergreen content shows it delivers 4 times the return on investment of time-sensitive content, precisely because it keeps performing long after the initial effort. That's the frame, not a campaign, a portfolio. Hold that thought as we walk through what happens. Month 1 is about foundations. This is when most firms record and publish their first 2 or 3 videos. And honestly, it's uncomfortable at first for most people. Almost everybody finds that the first recording session is harder than they expected. And it's not because they don't know what to say, but because getting used to the sound of your own voice and the look of your own face and this slightly strange experience of talking to this inanimate object in front of you, this lens, that takes a little bit of time. That discomfort does pass quickly, and it's usually within the first session. What you'll notice in month 1 is that your videos begin to appear in search results. Not at the top and not with thousands of views, but they are there. That's, of course, assuming that you have correctly structured everything about your YouTube video to be found in search. If that's the case, and if someone searches a specific question that your video answers, then they can find it. That is not nothing. That is the beginning of a permanent, searchable, AI-readable record of your expertise. The other thing that quite often happens in month 1 is that you share your videos with people you already know. Existing clients, colleagues, people in your professional network, and the response often surprises people. Not because the videos go viral, but because of the quality of the responses. People will say things like, "I didn't know you covered this," or "I shared this with a colleague who has exactly this problem," or "This is exactly what I needed to explain our work to a new prospect." And that feedback is not just encouraging, it's actually evidence. Evidence that the asset you've created is already doing something useful within your existing network and before the algorithm has even found you. Month 2 is usually the hardest month. That initial energy of starting, that settles, and the dramatic results haven't appeared yet. And the investment of time and of your focus and your budget, if you're working with someone, that's ongoing. And this is the moment when most people start to question the strategy. Is this actually working? Maybe this isn't right for us. We've published 6 videos and we've had 40 views. I want to be direct about this because I think it's important. 40 views in month 2 is not failure. 40 views in month 2 is actually entirely normal for a channel that is still being discovered, still being indexed, still being understood by an algorithm that needs time and data to learn who you are and who should see you. The firms that make it through month 2 without abandoning the strategy are the firms that understand what they're actually building. They're not building a view counter. They're building a body of expertise, a permanent, searchable, AI-readable record of what they know that will keep compounding long after this month ends. The analogy I come back to is this. You wouldn't look at a well-structured investment portfolio after 60 days and conclude it isn't working because the market hasn't moved in your favor yet. You'd look at whether the fundamentals are right. So, are your videos well structured? Are the titles optimized for how your clients search? Are you publishing consistently? Is your call to action clear? If yes, then the strategy is working. The results are just on a longer timeline than you're used to. By month 3, something starts to change. The channel has enough content for the algorithm to begin forming a picture of what you're about and who should see you. Videos that were getting modest views in month 1 are quietly accumulating more. Search appearances are increasing. And for many firms, this is when the first genuinely unexpected thing happens. A video shows up in Google's AI overview for a relevant search. Or someone reaches out who found you through search, not through a referral, not through your network, but because they were looking for exactly what you do and your video came up. That first moment, when someone you've never met finds you through content you recorded weeks ago, that's a different kind of signal. It's proof of concept. Not proof of scale, not a pipeline full of clients, but evidence that the system works, that the investment is building something real, and that if you keep going consistently, patiently, the results will compound. I want to be honest with you about something. The title of this video says 90 days, and everything I've described in the first 3 months, it's pretty real. But the truth is, 90 days isn't very much in YouTube land. The more significant results, the ones that change how your firm is perceived, the ones that start generating regular inquiries from people who found you through search, the ones that position you as the recognized authority in your niche in AI results, those typically emerge between 6 months and a year of consistent publishing. Research on content that compounds shows most assets take 3 to 12 months to show real traction, and 12 to 36 months to fully compound. YouTube is no different. The firms that reach month 12 with a consistent body of content in their niche, so 12 to 20 videos, well-structured, well-titled, consistently published, those are the firms that start to see something genuinely powerful. Their videos are being cited by AI search tools. And prospects are booking calls, having already watched 4 or 5 videos. Existing clients are sharing content with their own networks. And the pipeline of warm, pre-qualified inquiries, people who already know your thinking, already trust your approach, already see you as the obvious choice, it starts to build. That's not a campaign result. That is a compounding asset. And every month you delay starting is a month of compounding you don't get back. I want to be clear about what consistent means here, because I don't want you to hear 12 months of publishing and imagine a schedule that just isn't realistic for a busy firm. Consistent doesn't mean daily, and it doesn't even mean weekly if that's not sustainable. What it does mean is regular enough that the algorithm has a signal and your audience knows you'll show up. For most of the firms I work with, 1 well-crafted video per week is kind of the right place to be. Some do 1 every 2 weeks, but what matters isn't really the frequency alone. It's frequency combined with quality and, above all, consistency. A firm that publishes one video every 10 days for 12 months will outperform a firm that publishes 5 videos in January and then disappears until April. That happens every time. In my final video of this series, I want to answer the most practical question of all. Is YouTube the right move for your firm specifically? Not every firm is at the right stage. Not every niche is equally suited. And not every leader is ready to make the commitment this requires. In video 6, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to assess that so you can make a clear, informed decision rather than a hesitant one. Now, if you've watched this video and found yourself thinking, I understand the timeline, I understand the investment, I just need to know whether this makes sense for my firm specifically. That is exactly the conversation the Authority Diagnostic is designed for. In that session, we'll look at where you are right now, your niche, your existing reputation, your capacity to commit, and I'll give you an honest assessment of what a realistic 12-month YouTube journey looks like for your specific firm. It's not a sales pitch and it's not a general framework. It's a specific, honest picture of what this would look like for you. If it's the right move, you'll leave knowing exactly what to do next. And if it isn't, you'll leave knowing that too. Either way, you'll have clarity. The link to book that conversation is in the description box below. I'll see you in the next video.